so don't stress. I just haven't been live or done a video like I said I was going to do last night, but just didn't get around to it. So, because I was stuffing around with everything else. So, but what do I do? And what are we going to do? Oh. Yeah. Probably there's a video I really want to make, and probably a live, but because in a kind of way I want to see what everyone thinks about it. But it's kind of, I need to do research, and finding the time to do that is like bashing my head against a brick wall at the moment. So it's kind of not working. But we will see what happens. This isn't working. So I'm going to have to do something else about it. Hello, whoever's watching. You're allowed to say hello. Sorry, not that exciting just yet, but we'll get there. Edit. I'm just going to make a picture smaller because it's not quite working for me. But that's okay. Yeah, I'm happy. Save as copy. Point 2. Hello. Number 2. Number 2 pops up. I know. Not that exciting at the moment, but like I said, we'll get there. Yeah. Let's see if this works. Oh, yes, it does. I like it when things work out. Hello, Easton. How are you? Sorry, I'm just putting a block on, overlaying it over Google Earth because the other one didn't quite fit the page. Hello, Trinity Knight. How are you? You're having surgery in September. That's not good. What sort of surgery are you having? Hello, MTB Ray. Let's see if this works. Heart surgery. Oh my lord. Can you shout me? Not really. No. I'd make too much noise if I did that. Hey Kendall, how you doing? Heart surgery. That's not good. Don't want to see things like that happening to people. But yeah, it's happening a little bit too often these days. I've just been kneeling down, feeling down. Okay. And then went and got checked out, and I can't quite see your photo. Just got done watching the war on flock cameras. Yeah, I know. Hey, Optical Jim, how are you? Starting to get a few more added. Yeah, yeah, Kendall, it's I just wish he would actually upload the rest of it. It kind of annoys me that it finished at 45 minutes. But in saying that, it's a bloody good video for anyone who hasn't watched it. Me, yeah, I'm all right actually. It's been a tough few weeks, But yeah, I'm getting there. It takes me a little while sometimes. But yeah, I probably should have done a few more lives and things like that. But it's been, yeah, it's probably best that I stayed off. Hello, Cindy. How are you? Yeah, so I had Tuesday off, and it probably wasn't my best day, but it is what it is. And it's been really hard to kind of get back into things again. I don't know what was going on Tuesday, but my motivation just died in a great heap. And I spent all day basically doing crap that was not productive at all. And then basically, yeah, sort of had to catch up Tuesday night. And it was like, you've had all day to do this stuff, but I just couldn't get into it at all, and I don't know why. It just didn't work for me. But I'm sure we all go through days like that. At least I'm hoping others do, because I don't know. I hate to think I was the only bloody one. It's a good thing I work for myself, let's put it that way. Or mind you, if I'd probably actually been in some office somewhere, I probably would have been at it full time. But I've just had so much going through my head lately, and it's like, I think every now and again it kind of catches up, and you just reach that point where you're almost sort of saying, I don't want to be here. And I don't mean I don't want to be here, I just don't want to be here, as in sitting at this desk. And, you know, I could think of a million other things that I could be doing. And, you know, you've got stuff here to do, but it's like, I just can't do it at the moment. So you end up just basically stopping, you know, and you just can't get into things. So I don't know. Maybe it is just me. Oh. But anyway, how have you all been? That's what I want to know. What have you all been getting up to since I've been gone? Sounds like a Kelly Clarkson song. Not really my type of music, but great. Oh, that's good. Oh no, look, it's. I think part of the problem has been that work has been hit and miss, and I don't know about blokes, but it's kind of one of those things where it's the one thing that has basically always been stable for me. You know, it's always been there. It hasn't really gone away. And once it sort of slows down, yeah, that's the right chance. Once it slows down, it's kind of one of those things that basically, yeah, you kind of start getting a little bit down, I suppose, to a certain extent. And it's kind of hard to get out of it. And then, I mean, I should know by now that, you know, pretty much within a couple of days, it's all going to come in like a ton of bricks, and it did. So yesterday I had an appointment out at a client's house. So I had to drive 78 Ks to get there. And and then after that had finished, drove 78 k's home again, and then basically caught up with a builder about another project. And so by the time I got back, it was around about lunchtime, I guess, and basically it just went ballistic from there. Turned my computer on, and next thing there was like 7 jobs sitting there. And the rest of the afternoon was basically phone call after phone call, and trying to sort of chat with the various channels that I'm on, and basically try and do work at the same time. So and it's like, and in the meantime I was texting with a friend, which has been really, really good, and I appreciate that massively. By the time I sort of turned the computer off last night, it was 8 o'clock, and it's like, I've got to go to bed. And I know I sound old, but I'd been up since 6 o'clock, on the road at 7. Basically hadn't really sort of taken a break the whole day. So by the time I got to sort of 8 o'clock last night, it was like, I'm knackered. I need to go to bed. So that's pretty much what I did. Went outside, had a smoke, and then basically cleaned up a few bits and pieces. And I didn't even have time last night to do dinner, because I live on my own. So in the end, there's a guy who does like a caravan that sells food, I suppose, and he does Thai food, and it's really, really good. So I went down there and got a couple of satay chickens with rice, and a couple of spring rolls, and I ate half of it last night, and I'll eat the other half again tonight. So he's actually not too bad. He only really operates here in town once a week, and then he goes to various other towns around the district. But I'm not driving 100 k's to get to somewhere to buy food. So, but yeah, I mean, the best part about it was that I didn't have to worry about cooking dinner last night. There's no dishes to do, and I don't have to worry about it again tonight. So, and hopefully, if the weather's good, I'm going to piss off bush this weekend, and hopefully this time the bloody weather stays away, although it is July. So we will see what comes of it, because there is stuff I want to do out there, but you know, it's kind of difficult when it's pissing down with rain and freezing bloody cold. The freezing cold bit I can live with, but the rest, when it's raining, no. If I don't have to be out there, I may as well just pack up and go home. But we'll see what. Look, I mean, I've got the clothing. If I had to be out there, if that was my only choice, I would. But you know, it wouldn't be so bad if like everything out there wasn't soaked, and everything is just drenched. And so you go to burn timber to keep warm, and all it does is produce smoke. A true bushman never complains of rain. Yeah, that's because most of them are smart enough not to go out there in rain. you know, unless they've got no other choice, and then they'll complain like buggery. They just won't tell anyone, you know, because they're men. Um, you know, it's oh dear. God, you guys made me laugh. um, yeah, so I don't know. Oh, look, I've been out there plenty of times when it's been raining. It's, you know, it's like I say, it wouldn't be so bad if I couldn't just grab a few bits of dry timber and put it on the fire and have a nice warm fire going. But you know, apparently not. Apparently, it's got to sit there and just absolutely send out more smoke than you can poke a stick at. Mr. E. Brown. Mr. E. Brown. Hello. So yeah, it wouldn't be so bad. G'day Austin, how you doing? But no, everything out there's wet. So what I did last weekend before I actually started pouring down with rain and blowing a gale up, mind you, was I grabbed a pile of timber and actually brought it in undercover because I thought, well, stuff you for a joke. If I'm going to go out there and cut timber, I may as well have dry timber, and it'd be nice to just throw a tarp over it all. But with the way the wind was, all you're going to hear is flap, 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 flap. You know, with a damn tarp, so it's sounding like the damn thing's going to take off. So, and because I'm not out there for 5 nights a week, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, I can't leave it out there like that. It would be lovely, and maybe maybe that's something I need to do. Maybe I need to buy or build a woodshed. Um, you know, something where I can actually store the timber where it's not going to get drenched all the time. It's probably not a silly idea. You got me thinking now. Because I now know where there's a pile of wood that I can get chainsawed up. Because I'm starting to run out of stumps out there. 50 plus years will do that. You can't just run around the paddocks and grab stumps anymore. You can't. We used to, I mean, that was one of the first things we used to do when we got out there. We'd set up camp and then pretty much jump into the car and jump into the ute and drive around, a ute being a truck for those who don't know, and just fill the back of it up with enough timber to last us for however long we were going to be out there. And we used to do it within half an hour maybe at the most. And we'd come back with a ton of firewood. And it would take no effort. There was no need for a chainsaw, no need for any of that stuff. And we did it year after year after year. There was just never really a major issue in finding it. These days it's different because obviously we've burnt it all and we haven't been the other one, ute, UTE. It's actually short for utility vehicle. So if you know, what is it? In the gosh, my head has just gone completely bananas. We've got like Hiluxes. If you know what a Toyota Hilux is, which most people in the world do, pretty much that. So we used to have Toyota Land Cruiser utes, just with the tray, the aluminium tray, the aluminum tray on the back, and just a single cab with 3 seats. That's pretty much a ute. These days we have what we call dual cab utes. So that's basically where you've got 2 seats in the front, driver, passenger, and then a bench seat across the back for 3 passengers, like you find in any car. So a lot of the utes these days are pretty much more car-like than what they are utility vehicle, I suppose. It's like a wagon without the roof bit over the top. I don't know how else to explain it. Look up Toyota Hilux, and you'll find it. So I think you guys call them mid-size trucks. So it's not your F-250s or things like that. It's more along the lines of, I think Ford make one, and I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me. But here they just dominate the streets. You can't pull up to a set of traffic lights anywhere really without, Ranger, Ford Ranger. Those things are bloody everywhere out here. But we've got everything running from Toyota Hilux to Mitsubishi Triton to, there used to be the Holden Colorado. They're all basically four-wheel drive. And just about every man and his dog's got one, including the wife. So most of them are what they term as trader utes. So Sparkies, Chippies, Brickies, people like that use them all the time. They're just, and now they've got electric ones apparently. Although haven't seen too many. I think BYD have got one, but it looks like I don't know. They just all the electric ones just look really ugly. It looks like a 3-year-old designed half of them. Honestly, they're not attractive vehicles at all. And to go off road or four-wheel driving or anything like that. The range isn't great on them at the best of times. But, if you're in low range four-wheel drive and doing a lot of sand driving, I'm sorry, but I can't see those batteries lasting too long at all. And what do you do if you're in the middle of bloody nowhere, halfway up a sand hill, and the battery dies? I don't know. At least we can... At least, if I'm halfway up a sand hill and my fuel gauge dies, I can jump in the back, grab the 20-litre jerry can, fill the fuel tank up, and off I go again. It's, I don't know. So I think like so many of these vehicles these days, they become, what do they call them? Touareg tractors. In other words, all the private schools, they turn up in their Range Rovers and their Land Cruisers and all this sort of stuff, and damn well that the nearest bit of dirt they're ever going to see is maybe if they park on the front lawn. I don't know, but they sure as hell won't be seen out off-roading, going through scrub. I can't stand electric. I'm sorry. I'm one of those people that just can't stand it. I think it's a dumb idea. They look bloody ugly. Even the Tesla looks like a bloody Camry. Why would you spend so much money on a damn Camry? they're just awful looking. Yeah, but you've got an Audi Quattro, and that's just hot. But anyway, enough of that. That gets me too excited. So yeah, I don't know, these electric cars. I remember, they kind of look like something 3-year-olds draw. Don't tell me things like that. I don't want to get on a plane. That's my problem. I'm now officially a koala, native to Australia, and the likelihood of me leaving. That is. Anyway, so yeah. No, you will bloody not. Even I'd refuse that. You're not going to do that to the Quattro, don't you? You can't scratch the poor thing. No. No. Oh, God. Oh, dear. I swear to God, if I ever had one, and the chances of me having one are pretty much zero, I don't even know what I'd do with it. I'd spend all day in it, but I wouldn't actually go anywhere. I'd be too afraid to get the thing. I'd be like one of those bloody motorbike riders who only ever takes their bloody bike out during the middle of the summer because it's not going to get dirty. And then I'd spend like 10 hours polishing the bloody thing when I got home. Um, and it's like all for what? A half-hour drive? I don't know. Yeah. Sorry, Kendall, you probably have no idea what we're talking about here, but look up Group B rallying. And look at the Audi Quattro, and it's like... best half hour of your life. Exactly, yes. Just find a nice country road where there's no other wankers on the road. And just, yeah, Audi Quattro. They were actually originally, the idea for them originally came from an off-road four-wheel drive vehicle that they were looking to do for the German army, and it was a very Jeep type vehicle, and it had four-wheel drive in it. And Audi were looking at getting into rallying, and saw how it was all set up. Like, they were the ones that were obviously building this Jeep. And a few of them decided to actually put that system into a car. It had never been done before. They were one of the first ones to actually commercialise four-wheel drive into a family saloon. Before Subaru, before the Mitsubishi Lancers, before any of that stuff happened, it was Audi. And basically they ended up creating a UR Quattro, which was a 20-valve, 5-cylinder, I think, four-wheel drive. And the original one came without a turbo, but they ended up putting a turbo onto it. And originally they didn't, it was more of a support vehicle, because they already had a few vehicles in rallying. I think there was the Audi 80 and the Audi 100. And so they used the Quattro as a support vehicle to run gear in between stages. So by the time the rally car got there, all the gear was already there. The problem was, the first rally it ever did that in, if it had actually ran the entire rally, it would have beat everything, and I mean everything running at the time, by nearly 20 minutes. And it was like, holy crap. So they went to the governing body, and basically asked for the allowance of four-wheel drive into rallying. And that's where it was born. And so the first few seasons, it just wiped everyone off the planet. And then they started getting into, and then the other manufacturers just started basically building them a lot lighter, more powerful. These cars weighed, maybe half a ton, and they had like 600 brake horsepower. They were just, it was just insane what these cars were capable of doing. And by the end of it, it actually got too dangerous. People were actually standing in the middle of the road as the cars were coming towards them. It was just crazy. Drivers had come back with people's fingers in their windshields because they were trying to touch the cars as they were going past at 120 mile an hour down a dirt road sideways. It's totally crazy. And then a couple of accidents came along, and a couple of the drivers were killed, and I think the last sort of the thing that basically stopped the whole thing was a car went out of control and crashed into a bunch of spectators, and people lost their lives, and the drivers basically died as well. And so that was the end of Group B rallying, and it's never been back since. They've look, rallying has never gone away, but back in the mid '80s, early '80s, late '80s, there was no safety, like none at all. I mean, these days we've got Toyota Corollas and Ford Focuses and stuff like that running around, and Hyundai i30s and Kias, and it's like, I mean, it looks cool. They get very airborne, but there's just no, I don't know, something's gone. It's become so commercialized, and that's the problem with everything. As soon as you get too commercialized with something, it's not fun anymore. It's like Formula One. Like, you remember when Ayrton Senna and Niki Lauda and Alain Prost and Nigel Mansell were all racing. They had cars that sounded freaking awesome. I mean, you could feel them before you could actually hear them. And these guys were using a 5-speed manual. I mean, there was no flicky paddle things on the steering wheel. There were no buttons to press to change the gears. They were actually using a stick shift. As they're traveling at like 240 k's an hour. It's like, in a car that weighed, maybe 600 kilos, 700 kilos. They were just incredible, and everyone got into it. And these days, these guys, I don't know what the go is with Formula One these days. It's like it's really set up for like the first top 3 teams, and everyone just gets the scraps that are left behind. They just turn up because, I don't know. Yeah, I know. Marf's all over the place at the moment, Kendall. It's hard to know when to go live anymore. So I've just thought I'll just go live now. And if he comes on, then I'll watch it later. I always watch every show, so. But yeah, you sort of lose something as soon as you go commercial. Well, I can get off and come back if you guys want. Why don't we do that? I'll end the live stream and then I'll come back on afterwards. How's that sound? Yep, up to you, mate. What's he on, TV or? Yeah, he's on TV. Our military is preparing. Okay. I do like. Yeah, we'll chill here. I'll come back and watch him later. So yeah, I don't know. You lose some of the excitement about it as soon as things become massively commercial, and all the sponsorship. And I mean, sponsorship was there back then, but it's a bit like rallying. Rallying is not the same without the cars. It was. And Group B was different as well, because they pretty much had no rules. You could basically do what you wanted to do. The only rule, I think, was that you had to make 300 road going cars, and then you could basically enter rallying. So, you know, the Peugeots, the Audis, oh, what else is there? Group B. Cars. Yeah, the Lanciers. The Lanciers were pretty bloody good looking as well. They were still damn bloody good looking vehicles. So yeah, you had the Audi Quattro, which ended up becoming the Audi Quattro Sport, and all they really did was took the UR Quattro and took about 300 millimeters out of it. So basically the length of a ruler, and then jammed it up and then lifted the height of the windscreen. There was the Lancia, the Peugeot, the Ford RS200. There was a Citroen as well, but not many people talk about the old Citroens. But yeah, the Lancia Delta S4, the Peugeot 205 T16, the Ford RS200, you know, unbelievable vehicle. Yeah, 200 cars, sorry, not 300. So, yeah. And you could pretty much, like I say, just do whatever you wanted. But, you know, the funny thing was that the road-going cars were basically the supercars of their day. You know, these were cars that were coming out in like the 1980s that had electric windows and four-wheel disc brakes and four-wheel drive. You know, it was stuff that I mean, these days we just think it's normal. That's what cars have: leather seats and electric windows, four-wheel disc brakes and turbos and all these things. But no, this was in the 1980s. You know, in fact, somewhere in my gear, I've actually got an original brochure from Audi that actually shows all the specifications of all the cars. So as if you'd gone into a car dealership and grabbed the brochure, and you read through the specifications, and it's like this car could have come out in like, you know, 20 years ago instead of 50 years ago, or 40 years ago, because 1980 was bloody 40 years ago. So, you know, and it comes back to this whole, you know, the question that I've asked before, you know, has technology other than AI stopped? And I think it has. I got to be honest. I really do. I don't know. What podcast were you on, Chance? Or was it your podcast? I know I saw you uploaded another book. And yes, we know Marv's on, but we're staying here. We'll watch Marv later. Or were you talking and everyone was listening? Or watering as everyone was listening? I'm going to have to look at what your topic was today. Because I want to know. Charles Paladin. Oh, you haven't uploaded it yet. Oh, okay. Yeah. That was a good podcast. I got to admit, I did like it. They should all go away. You're not talking. I hope you're not talking about your wife in this case, because I think she'd be rather upset. But maybe it could be. I don't know. I don't even get involved. So yeah, well, Jim should be dual wheeled. Okay, so when the kebabis come, I'm going on strike on Marv till he does show earlier. Yeah, look, it's I think, yeah, Chance is probably doing two. He's probably adminning in Bloody Marth's channel and talking here at the same time, because I don't know, I've never come across a guy who's more like a girl in my life. You're able to jump from one thing to the other, to the other, to the other, and like multitask better than any bloke I have ever met. Um, you what? You won't. Yeah, apparently I'm you what? You know, he's sitting there typing at 1,000,000 miles an hour in his book and quite happily chatting in chat at the same time. It's like, you know, it's crazy. And I'm pretty sure he's doing 3 other podcasts at the same time. You know, it's like, and watering the garden and forgetting his bloody clippers all the time. I mean, how many times does someone have to forget the damn clippers? Come on. I'm pretty sure you just take them out there and you just say it to piss us off, because you know we do. Oh, because we're saying here, not the bloody clippers again. And you've just got this thing going on in your head. I bet they're saying, not your bloody clippers again. Well, got the bastards. And the bloody Cessna. I'm more worried about those low-level flying jet aircraft that go past called cars every now and again, and how close you're standing to a bloody road, which has a horse in it and 2 cats that were planning on knocking you off the other day. So, I don't know. He's off to do his 10th podcast of the day. Oh, look, he's gone again. Yeah, I know. Look, I don't know how, I honestly don't know how he does it. I can't, for the bloody life of me, multitask. I can do maybe 2 things at the same time, but not like 4 or 5. I mean, that's, you know, I've seen women do that, but I've never seen a bloke do it. You know, it's crazy. And incredibly intelligent. Well, there is that as well. Sorry, we're just talking about you. It's all good though. We're just in awe of your talents, your never-ending talents and knowledge. $110. I know, I'm here. I had to check the door just to make sure no one could come in, or make sure you couldn't get out. You what? Oh dear. What's the door doing? It's trying. It's shockingly disturbing. Wonder if it was making noises. It's probably Ringo's trying to get in. It's one of the cats. Well, you are married. Maybe it was your wife trying to tell you to something. Get the okay ready. He's probably carrying a couple on his bloody belt anyway. So, you know, because that's what Americans do. Mine's in a safe. I can't get to it in any sort of quick time. But anyway, he's locked his wife out. Yeah. Well, they were having troubles with doors just recently, so wife was checking for more packages. Oh my God, 5 deliveries today. Fanny package. There you go. 1. Mine's buried. Yeah, well, you do live in the UK. It has to be. I don't know. I don't get. Maybe it's only because I don't order anything. Well, I very rarely order anything online. And these days, he did it. Yeah, you only get one per episode. We all know that. So even if I do get a delivery, the guy doesn't drop it off at my door. He actually takes it to the post office, and I've got to go down to the post office and pick it up. So, yeah, well, there is that. I'm down to leaving the house once every 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, look, if I didn't have to go and measure up people's houses or talk to them about what they want to build, and if I didn't have to, if I wasn't going out bush, my car just doesn't do any kilometres, like, at all. I do 110, somewhere between 110 and 150 kilometres on a weekend, and otherwise the car just sits in the driveway. And it's part of the reason I got rid of the 200 series Land Cruiser, because it was just sitting there and costing me a fortune. So yeah, I mean, we're not so. The funny thing is, and this is what kind of annoys me, if I didn't know any better, like if I just didn't watch the news and I didn't watch any of the channels that I watch, right? And I wasn't talking to you guys. Living here, I would have absolutely no idea that anything had changed in the last 60 years. Like, at all. It's like walking from a raging inferno to the Antarctica in the next room. Like, they're so massively different. It is just impossible to actually understand or comprehend it. Yeah, I did. I saw that about the propane gas. It's just weird. Like, seriously. I mean, I don't live in the city. Don't get me wrong. There is a... yeah, I don't live in the city. And maybe it's just a country thing. I don't know. But everyone goes, oh yeah, the inflation's bad. But yeah, I've got 300 sheep to move this week, and I need to get them crotched. And yeah, we've got to get that feed in. You know, it's like a 5-second conversation about what's going on in the world, and then life, it takes up like the rest of it. And it's just, you know, oh geez, the prices. You seen the price of bloody fuel lately? Yeah. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Oh, well, we'll just keep moving on. Okay, now, when can you be around to drop off that next lot of bloody fertiliser? Yeah, maybe in a couple of weeks. We're having a bit of an issue, but yeah, a couple of weeks shouldn't be too problem. You know, and it's like, I don't know. They don't care. They honestly just don't care. Well, I don't think it's so much that they don't care. It's not on the list of priorities. It really isn't. Yeah, because it doesn't directly affect them. No. I mean, everyone complained about the $3 a litre diesel price when that came in. We're back down to $1.80, which is lovely. You know, but it didn't really bother them anyway. Like, there were just as many cars and trucks on the road. Like, they've got too many bloody issues growing shit at the moment, I think, and it's like, they don't care. They just move on. You know, and then I can go out there on a Tuesday night and a Thursday night and hear the guys doing footy training over at the Oval, which is about probably 5 blocks away, and I can hear them screaming out individual names from where I live. Like, the town is that quiet. Like, every person in town is either at the footy club or at home in bed. Yeah, football. Yeah, what do you call it? Sports ball. But I can hear it all, like word for word, and I'm not even close to where the football oval is. So, you know, oh, this is actual Aussie rules football, I suppose. Check email draft. I'm getting messages. Junk email. Junk email. I don't just delete them. They're removed completely. Which is why my computer goes bling, bling. Well, I'm damned if I know where this bloody draft is. But it's only 2 o'clock, so he'll get it done. So yeah, I think it's partially why I kind of watch like the evening news every now and again, because it kind of gives you a reminder of what's happening in the city, even though you probably don't. I don't, because I just don't see the local news like at all. And around here in a small country town, it's like there is no news unless you talk to someone, and there's got to be the certain person that you actually talk to because they just know everything. Otherwise, you might get a 3-second conversation out of it. It's the way it works. Yeah, I mean, look, the biggest thing is reminding people, especially in this side of things, reminding people that it's what's happening in your backyard that will have you before anything overseas ever will. And most people here will just say, I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news. Why would I want to watch the news for? Well, so you can know what's happening in your backyard. Yeah, but I don't. I suppose, but I mean, if I want to know, then I'll go looking for it. It's like, how often do you go looking for it? Not very often. Because they're so fascinated about what's happening in Iran or Russia or somewhere like that, that to know what's actually happening 10 feet away from your front door is just foreign to them. They don't know. Yeah. Look, I don't know where you live. I know you're in the UK optical, but I certainly hope you're not in one of the bigger cities. Because, oh my God. And London, and I'd imagine Birmingham and other places like that are probably in the same boat, but you just don't want to go down certain streets. Bapistan. Manchester, well, that's still a reasonable sized city. It's still one of the UK's biggest cities. I mean, I suppose most of them go to London, Manchester. Yeah, I suppose most of these imports go to London, and just know the report. Yeah, I mean, they only report what they're told to report. It's not. And this is the thing, they call themselves journalists and they go through journalist schools. But I don't know really how much journalism they actually do anymore. I'm pretty sure you could get a trained monkey up there who would do just as good a job with AI. And like we were talking, at what point are they just going to be completely replaceable? In fact, I think the time is now they could be completely replaceable. Unless they're going out. But even when they go out to site, like out where there's been an accident, what do they do? They interview people, and like they put it on the news, but it's like if you actually listen to the answers some of these supposed neighbours are actually giving, it's like you didn't even know the person, did you? You had no idea who they were. In fact, their answers are so scripted, I'm pretty sure they are scripted. And Sue, what did you think? Oh, look, I think the person was really sad. You know, I mean, our our hearts and our prayers go out to them. You know, it's just a terrible thing. And I didn't realise our neighbourhood was like that. How often do you hear that? I didn't think our neighbourhood was like this. Do you know where you live? Yeah. What did you think? Read this. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they have to read it several times because honestly, the way they bloody answer is like, and then he went to the shop and he bought a biscuit. And then the gunman stepped out behind the tree, and then we were just devastated by it. But we'll be locking our doors from now on. This is the neighbour's opinion. It's not a good neighbourhood anymore. This is blah 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 from Channel Blah. Back to you in the studio. Thank you. Thanks for that report. It's like, really? That's journalism. And then the worst part is they actually do awards for these people. Oh, it's the awards. Oh, I didn't realise we would win so many reports. And tonight's report is that we've won an award. Congratulations to one of our starring journalists, Missy Johnson, who did a fabulous report. Back to you after this break. They get awards for this shit. I don't get an award. I don't know about you guys. We should just have an award for bloody existing at the moment, seriously. Great. No, I'm an idiot. Oh dear. Well, if you can't laugh at it, what do you do? Oh, golly gosh. Yeah, I'm not reading that. I've already said it once, okay? So you can't make me say it twice. Because otherwise then Chance will know that I'm AI. Hey, Nepenthe, how are you? Sorry. We're going to go back and watch Marfugal afterwards. So we had a vote and we just stayed here. So, yes, I'm playing news reporter today. I'll find another character some other time, okay? That's exactly right. Yeah, I'm only allowed to say it once, and I've said it once. If I say it again, then you know I've either got someone standing behind the door behind me who's forcing me to say what I'm saying. He's not there at the moment, so it's okay. Does the G in ChatG stand for Griffen? Well, I have been known to chat for 3.5 hours, so maybe it bloody well is. I don't know what does GPT stand for anyway? That's a bloody good question, Optical. You know, I've never actually, it's like ATM, like who's going down to the ATM machine, which is technically like saying automated teller machine. Like, I don't know. What does GPT stand for in ChatGPT? generative pre-trained transformer. Oh my God. Robots in disguise. Yes, the term GPT in ChatGPT stands for Generative Pre-Trained Transformer. So to go into that in further detail, because, hey, we learn here as well. It's not just about me being an idiot. So generative refers to the model's ability to generate new text based on the input it receives. Unlike traditional models that might only classify or analyze text, GPT can create coherent and contextually relevant sentences and paragraphs from scratch. So that's what the G stands for. The P stands for pre-trained, not a we. Pre-trained indicates that the model has undergone extensive training on a vast data set before being deployed for specific tasks. This training involves processing millions of sentences from diverse sources such as books, websites, and articles. Do they know people can't spell anymore? Including journalists, and we've already made mention of that. The pre-training phase equips the model with a broad understanding of language, enabling it to perform various tasks with minimal additional training. I'm glad you said that. I was wrong. G'day, just some guy. Hope you're feeling better, mate. Oh my God. That threw me. Oh, okay. So now you're talking about me. That's all right. Transformer. Robots in disguise. Transformer is a type of neural network architecture used in GPT, introduced in the 2017 paper, Attention is All You Need. All you need is attention. Attention, all you need. Transformers leverage an attention mechanism to process input data. This mechanism allows the model to consider the relationships between all words in a sentence simultaneously rather than sequentially. This approach significantly enhances the model's ability to understand and generate complex language structures. So now we know what GPT stands for and what it actually means. He goes out there in his natural What am I going out bush for again? Beep, boop, bangoo. I've got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then another 5. Or is it 6 on this one? Oh, sorry, you can see my hand. Because you're a koala making a human face. I'm an AI koala, am I? You know what? I'm gonna have to go to Cheapest Chips now and just buy a koala mask and g'day everyone. I'm Dickhead the koala. Even loves koala. I'm sorry, I'm Australian, okay? Get over it. If I start skipping, I ain't bloody Skippy, okay? Smeghead the koala. I'm not going to skip, Kendall. No. No one wants to see that. Oh, God. What's up, Skip? Oh, Skip. What's wrong, Skip? You need the St John ambulance out in 33 seconds, otherwise the patient's going to have a cardiac arrest. Well, I'll make it 32 seconds. Oh, Skip. You can hear Rescue 1. Where's it going to land? I don't know. Probably in that field over there. I can't land in that field. It needs a 60-foot diameter field to be able to land a helicopter in. That one's only 55. How do you know that, Skip? Oh, you measured it. Oh, okay. Is this one? No. There used to be a TV program called Comedy Company, and it ended up sort of becoming something else. And they used to pay out, they used to have like a stuffed kangaroo. And it would sit there, and one of the comedians would pretend they were Sonny, yeah, and he'd be going, "Oh, Skip." It was just hilarious. I'm sorry. That's back when we could actually make fun of stuff and no one cared because it was just funny. We didn't get, upset because someone said a bad word. It was just genuinely funny. They used to do, oh, far out. If you look at some of it, there was, they did a couple of the guys that work on cabin crews, and even did the mannerisms and the whole lot. And we're just sitting there wetting ourselves laughing at it. The show only went for like half an hour, but oh my God, your stomach just hurt afterwards. But you just couldn't do that shit anymore. Like, seriously. It was just, Comedy Company. It was just brilliant. And they'd pay out everyone. I'm pretty sure the sense of humour pretty much started within a couple of weeks of them landing, to be brutally honest, because they thought, well, shit, there's no point in crying, so we might as well just laugh and just get on with it. And it hasn't stopped since, really. We just don't give a shit. Yeah, Steve Izard. Oh, gosh. It was good fun, though. Like, and then we had a Hey Hey at Saturday until it just became times changed. Someone had spent half their night with their hand up an ostrich's bum, basically, and Dickie Knee, which was basically just a thing on a stick, and John Blackman basically having a go at everyone, and it didn't matter whether they were insatiably famous or whatever, but you'd stand there, you'd sit there looking at like Johnny Depp or someone who was just ridiculously famous, standing there being interviewed on national television, and next thing a stick comes up. Someone holding a stick with a I don't know what the face ever looked like. We only ever saw the back of it. And they're just sitting there going, what the fuck is going on here? And hearing the voice come through, John Blackman's voice. Oh God. Just some of their reactions to seeing like a stick puppet being shoved up in front of the desk was just, oh God. They'd never come across anything like it. Like, and all these famous people were just coming through the door. Tom Jones and, you name it. They all came through, and some of them actually went along with the joke, which was awesome. Other ones were just standing there going, am I meant to respond to that? Oh yeah, and he Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, g'day, Mr. Jones, how you doing? No, it was basically asking him whether he had any undies still left over because he wanted to borrow them. Because Tom Jones used to stand on stage and women used to throw their underwear at him, and so this little stick had come up, and it'd be like, oh, Mr. Jones, have you got any underwear left from all that stuff they used to send on the stage? Because I wouldn't mind borrowing some of it. Just for a minute, though. It's like, oh my God. Tom Jones would be pissing himself off. What the heck have I done? Oh dear. No, they used to do it like Dickie Knee was just, and it's like it's just a term, like you often get old people who go, oh yeah, that's just my Dickie Knee, I can't run or walk as well anymore. I've got a Dickie knee, and that's what this thing was, like a stick with a cap on the back, and you could see its shoulders, but you never saw its face ever. No one ever saw its face except for whoever was looking at it. My Yiddish mama. Yeah, that is actually, that was incredible. That was, because it's just done on the spot. Like the whole show, Hey Hey It's Saturday, was basically not scripted at all. Parts of it probably were, but a lot of it was just freelance. Like, we're just talking about Australian television programs. That's all right. But yeah, it was just, just stuff that, you could do back then that you just can't do anymore. But I was talking to a friend today, and I said, look, there is some pretty cool stuff out there still, and like they do. I don't know whether they still do it in Penth, but they used to do this this thing where they'd laser the buildings in the middle of Melbourne, and basically have like moving theatre made of lasers. Stuff like that was like really cool when it first happened. Yeah, apparently I'm an AI koala. Sorry. I'll just sit here and grunt. I don't even know what koalas. Yeah, I know. Whose line is it anyway? Yeah, I've seen plenty of videos on that. And they were funny. Oh my God, they were funny. No. Oh, well, we are. Of course we're allowed to have fun things. We just can't show those people who get offended by it. Or we just say, screw you. Get offended by it or don't. One of the two. You've got a choice whether you want to be here or not. Simple as that. And if you don't want to hear it, turn it off. Or find somewhere else. Or scroll. Or grow a pair. And watch. And maybe you'll learn something. Like we have today. Like apparently ChatGPT is a transformer in disguise. Facts. It is a fact. Unfortunately, it won't transform into like something really, really cool, like a koala or a Corvette or a truck or a F-18 Hornet or something like that. But it does its best. It does its best to. It transforms into something which has absolutely no idea what you're actually asking it to do. Oh, it'll give you an answer, but it's more than likely going to be wrong probably the first 5 times you actually ask it. And it will sincerely apologise each time. That's the lovely thing about it. It doesn't get pissed off. It just goes, you are right. I was wrong. Here's another answer. And it'll just feed you answers until you go, yeah, that's the one I want. See? Gotcha. Welcome to AI intelligence, artificial intelligence. But anyway, it is what it is. We'll just ask it about pygmies or, I don't know, watering the lawns or, anything you really want these days. I asked it what does GPT stand for? So I wonder what happens. See, the problem is I'm not actually talking to artificial intelligence. I'm talking to Microsoft. And application. Here we go. Applications and limitations. GPT models have a wide range of applications, including conversational chatbots, content creation, programming assistance, and customer service. However, they also have limitations, such as generating incorrect or nonsensical text. There's a lot of nonsensical crap in that. And requiring substantial computational resources for training. See, I'd never be a newsreader. No, I'm not doing the newsreader again. Kind of weird. In summary, GPT or chat GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, highlighting the model's ability to generate text. Its extensive pre-training on large data sets. See now, if this started in 2017, where were they getting the extensive pre-training on large data sets? Has anyone ever actually asked that question before? Like, who's smarter, Google or AI? That's asking which electric car's better, the Tesla or the Tesla. I said an AI hallucination. They scrubbed the whole internet, yeah. Which means that when did the internet start? Or when was internet commercially available? I type slower than you, okay? The internet became commercially available in 1995 when restrictions on commercial traffic were lifted, allowing private businesses to use it for commercial and public access. So from 1995, yes, I need a freaking calculator, so get over it. 22 years of shit that we put on the internet. They had ChatGPT listen to it and take it all in and understand it all. So they listened and watched everything right from the very start. Australia was recognised as part of the internet when the AU domain was delegated to Robert Eltz of the Australian Computing Science Network in March 1986. Oh my God, we're going back further. It says AI has an IQ of less than 6-year-old. Yeah, only what's publicly available, probably, Kendall. Because there are AIs that have beaten chess masters, but we don't get that one because we don't play chess. You won't find this koala over there, I'm telling you that right now. Someone would have to pay very, very, very good money to get me on an aircraft to leave this country these days. Oh, I'm sure there are koalas in the US. There's a lot of very drunk Australians over there during the World Cup, so I saw. But I wasn't one of them. I like my country. I like where I live. That we know of. Dun, dun, dun. I'm sure there's plenty in the zoo. There's probably a few in the jails. But again, I'm not one of them. Someone, like I said, someone would have to pay me excessively. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna actually admit to something here. I can't drive a 5-speed manual. So there you go. I could probably do it, but you wouldn't. 5 seconds in the car and you go, get the fuck out! Don't break my bloody car. I drive an automatic. Why? Okay, I can tell you why. It's because I didn't actually get my driver's license until I was around about 22 years old. And I was working with the Onkaparinga Council, or Noarlunga Council. Yeah, I'm not wearing one of those things where your boobs jump up and down there. Sorry, not doing that. But I'd happily go for a bloody ride in the passenger. Yeah, that's a no-brainer, really. So yeah, I was working at the Noarlunga City Council, which is a council south of Adelaide, and I was working as a trainee building inspector because I'd finished university, and we had to do basically a it is, but you know, it's a guy thing, I think. Maybe it's a girl thing as well. So we had to do 100 days of work experience. If he's not wearing a push-up, oh dear. So we had to do 100 days of work experience before we were actually allowed to finish the university course, right? So all of us went out, and basically everyone in the class went out to try and find 100 days of work experience. So I ended up getting a work experience at the council as a trainee building inspector. And I got to be honest with you, it was great. It was bloody awesome. And so, and then I got a 3-month contract because one of the guys in the building area moved to another department, and they said, well, you already know what's going on. We may as well just pay you for 3 months and you do what you do. And I said, okay. And I said, just bear in mind, I don't have my license. And they said, what? And they said, well, no, that's got to change. And then a job came up at Goolwa, Victor Harbour and Goolwa, which is further south on the ocean. And they said, you'd be ideal for this, seriously, but you need to get your bloody driver's license. Okay, fair enough. So I came home and I said to Mum, look, I've got to get my driver's license. This is ridiculous. And we had to kind of get it in like a week or a couple of weeks. And so basically I started out on a 5-speed manual. And it was like a 2-hour lesson, which they don't really do anymore, but they did back then. And so I did the lesson in the 5-speed manual. I was fine, no problems at all. But then I said, look, I'm going for this job, and it's with the council, and all the council cars are automatic anyway. And he said, well, how soon do you need a license? And I said, well, as soon as bloody possible. And he goes, okay, we're going to jump straight to the automatic because you're going to get that within 5 minutes. Okay, fair enough. Well, every lesson in the automatic was in driving rain, and I'm not kidding. It was absolutely piercing down, to the point where half the streets were just flooded. Like, you had to be so careful about going around a corner. You could barely see with the windscreen wipers doing this for 2 hours. And after about 3 days, he said just go for your license. He said you've got this in the bag. He said if you can basically be driving in that sort of bloody weather, he said you can drive anywhere. So I went and did my license, and of course, what happened? 45 bloody degrees, stinking friggin' hot. You couldn't spend 5 seconds in the sun because you burned to a crisp. Um, and of course, gone in there, did the test, passed it. Okay, guy came out. First thing we did was got into a car that had been sitting there for like 2 or 3 hours. So I went from 45 degrees to like 250, maybe with a slow roast and a few things poured over the top of me. It was effing hot in this bloody car. I mean, you could barely touch the steering wheel. Um, I said, and he goes, and even the instructor goes, I don't know why they gave us this bloody car. He said, let me touch the steering wheel. He went to touch it and he nearly burnt the inside of his hands. It was so hot. And so he said, nah, we're changing cars. He said, I can't get you to drive this. So we jumped into another car, which luckily had only been sort of shut up for about 5 minutes, and turned the air conditioner on full blast because it was fucking hot. And started the test, and reverse parallel parking, all the things you got to go through when you've got to go through your driving test. And then he screwed up. We came to a certain point. I did the driving test down near Glenelg, so we'd gone down Jetty Road and come through the back streets, sort of heading vaguely south, and then turned up another street and started heading up towards where Brighton Road is. And Brighton Road is like a 2-lane, both ways sort of road. And as soon as we've turned onto the road, and he goes, okay, at the next intersection, turn right. So, and of course, this road went down, crossed Brighton Road, and went down, and at the end of it was a T-junction. And so I thought, he said, at the end of the road. Well, that's crossing Brighton Road, going all the way down, and then turning right. So we've got to Brighton Road, and I'm sitting there without my indicator on. And I'm sitting there, waiting for a break in the traffic so I can go across 4 lanes of traffic. And the guy goes, after about 2 minutes, he goes, what are you waiting for? Why isn't your indicator on? And I said, well, you told me to go to the end of the road, and that's all the way down there where the T-junction is, on the other side of Brighton Road. And he's gone, oh, shit. No, that's not what I meant. I meant turn right onto Brighton Road. I said, oh, is that what you meant? He goes, oh, sorry about that. He said, okay, yeah, can you turn right onto Brighton Road? Okay, no worries. 5 seconds later, break in the traffic. I've turned right onto Brighton Road, used the indicators, used the mirrors, all the rest of it. And he goes, just go back to where the drive, head office is. Yep, no worries. Made my way back there, and I get out, and he goes, you passed, by the way. I said, were we meant to have? He said, I'm not talking about it. He said, you've passed. Well done. So that took me from my L's to my P's. So in Australia, back then you had like a yellow square with the letter L on it, and that was basically learner. So you always had to have a registered driver sitting in your passenger seat. and as soon as you go to your P's, which is a white square with a red P on it that you had to put on your back and front window, that meant that you could drive on your own from that point onwards. For 12 months, you had to do that before you actually got your full license. Once you got your full license, then pretty much we don't want to ever hear from you again. And you could take your plates down, and you got a different coloured license and all the rest of it. So that's the way they used to do it. They do it all completely differently these days. These days, you've actually got to keep a diary of the amount of hours that you drive and what sort of things you did while you were driving. Whether you did a U-turn or whether you did a whatever. They basically had like the first to get your L's was actually just a written test. It was just a multi-choice test. You didn't actually have to get into a car at all. So basically you virtually studied for it. You only got 3 goes. And I passed mine on the first shot. I mean, most of the kids in there were like 15, 16 years old. And here's this bloody 22-year-old walking in there. I felt old then. So then once you pass that, then you get your L's. And then basically you then learn how to drive a car, whether it's mum or whether it's dad or what have you. Just anyone who's got a full license can basically sit in the car while you're driving. And then once you get to your P's, there's another sort of multi-choice questionnaire. But basically you then have to get into the car and actually prove that you can do all this stuff. So you got to prove that you can reverse parallel park and do uphill starts and all the rest of that sort of business. And that's what I went out. So they actually had like fake hills out the back of where their testing centre was, and a variety of other things. But then you actually went out onto the real roads. And that's what I did. So by the time I went down to do the interview with, because I actually got an interview with the council down at Victor Harbour, I caught a bus down because I didn't have a car. So I didn't have a job long enough to be able to save enough money for a car. And of course, trying to get a job when you've had no experience, it's one of those catch-22s that every kid goes through. All the jobs require experience, but none of them will actually give you any. It's fabulous, when you're going through that shit. These days, it's not really an issue. I'm just too fucking old, apparently. So I went down and got in the bus, went down, did the interview. And it was the first interview that I'd done in front of a group, because of course, the mayor comes out, and then the deputy mayor, and then, the heads of all the departments, and then, the department that you're going to be working under. It's like, before you know it, you're sitting there with like 15 people in a circle, kind of all asking you questions, and you've got to be able to answer them. And apparently, even though I was as nervous as all hell, I actually would have got the job had I had a license. And even though I had my P's, they wanted someone on their full license. So that was simply never going to happen. And it's one of those things that I've sort of been through several times, and I'm sure we all have, where your life could have gone in any direction. And apparently I got back, and about a week later, the guys came up to me at the council and said, you would have actually had the job. There was no ifs, buts, or whats about it. It was your job, except you didn't have the full license, the driver's license. And it's like, damn. But So I could have been a completely different person. I could have been somewhere else. And it's oh look, it sucked. It sucked at the time, but it kind of doesn't now, because I've actually. It's funny how you kind of could have been 1,000 people, but you knew at exactly the moment that actually happened, where you could have gone in a completely different direction. And I've had that happen nearly 3 times in my life now, where I knew the exact moment that things could have been completely different. And most people will go through an entire lifetime never realizing it. And you kind of look back on it and go, far out. It comes back to that sort of ultimate timeline sort of situation. I mean, how many timelines could we have gone down, or do we exist in? And it's kind of weird in that regard. But yeah, it's just they pay licensing as far as I know, Kendall. Otherwise, they get strikes. Because I would play music on here, but I can't. I can't play any more than about 30 seconds and I'll get a strike. Like, there can't even be any background music, which is freaking annoying. So yeah, it's funny how the timelines kind of work with that regard. But I don't think a lot of people. I've never met too many people who actually knew where their life could have gone in a completely different direction. So the same thing happened when I was up at in another council, and I'd basically been unemployed, and I was jumping at anything. I was a driver for KFC. We used to do delivery driving for KFC, and I was doing that 7 nights a week. Basically, delivering KFC. It was a good job. It was good money. And if you worked the last shift, you actually got to take chicken home. So, it was great. But it wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my bloody song, or for the rest of my life. So I was basically still applying for jobs and still doing all that stuff. And then Mum said, look, why don't you go and through an agency and see what happens. Okay. So I went and did an interview with an agency, and then I was doing a resume writing course, because you did that back then. You went off to do a course for like a week to learn how to write a resume. And I think I was only there for like the first day, and I get a phone call, and they said, yeah, it's such and such from the agency. Are you interested in going up to Kadena? And I said, where the bloody hell's Kadena? I'd never heard of it. And they told me, and they said, okay, so you're going to be put up in a hotel for the week. You'll meet the guy who's running things up there, and he'll basically give you the keys to his car, council car that is, and his phone, and you're basically going to take over his job, because at the time the regulations were all being changed. So a lot of the country councils the guys who worked in country councils were coming to Adelaide to do their retraining, which then left their offices empty. And people like me were going in there to fill them up to take over their job. And so I went up there, and I reckon I did probably around about 3 weeks at Kadena. And the guy, I was there, I had a guy come in at like 10 to 5 on a Friday afternoon. He wanted to build a shed. And I'm looking at his sketch, and I'm just going, mate, you're not going to get this approved the way it is. And he goes, And I said, you're going to build it this weekend whether I give it approval or not. And he said, well, I've already got 5 guys lined up to go out there and build it. And then someone only said today, I need to get approval. And I said, fine. So I drew it up on the spot for him because everything was fine. Everything he was using was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. It's just that his documentation was, he'd drawn it literally on the back of a cornflakes packet. So I drew it all up for him. And, you know, everyone's sort of going, you know, they're trying to close the council offices, you know, on a Friday afternoon. None of them wanted to be there. And I said, I got to get this sorted because he's going to build it whether we approve it or not. So we may as well give him approval and spend the time and just get it done. And that way we don't have to worry about it. And so I reckon by 5:30 I had it all drawn up. I stamped it. He paid his fee. The girls were happy to get the hell out of there because they were sitting there wondering what the fuck was going on. And in the end, the mayor said, the mayor poked his head out after this guy had walked out the door as happy as friggin' Larry. He was wrapped. He could, you know, he was just proud as punch. I was pretty happy. I said, look, don't worry about the paperwork. We'll sort that out on Monday. He's gone and done his stuff. He's happy. No worries at all. And so all the girls left, all the staff left, and I was the only one there. I just had to go and clean up my office because I hadn't had the chance. And next thing, the bloody mayor's stuck his head in the door and gone, you about to head back to Adelaide? And I said, yeah, as soon as I tidied up all this stuff. He goes, yeah. He said, when you're ready, just knock on my door and we'll have a chat and we'll get going. Yep, sounds good to me. So I got my shit organised, got everything tidied up, and grabbed my bag and the keys and everything else. And because I'd drive up there, leave my car at the back of the council office, and then use the council car for the rest of the week. Why not? And he goes, grab a seat. Yeah, okay. I sat down, and he goes, do you want a job? And I said, kind of got one, but yeah, what are you talking about? And he said, no, he said, I want you here full time. He said, anyone who bloody does what you've just done tonight, he said, that'll be around town in about 20 minutes, you know, because he's going straight down the pub and he'll tell every man and his bloody dog in the council what a fantastic guy you are. And he said, if we've got people like you working here, the fact of the matter is we're just not going to have any issues. And I said, look, I would love to, but I actually accepted a job at Sterling Homes a couple of weeks ago. And he goes, look, it's entirely up to you, but this is what we're going to offer. It was a lot more. But again, it's one of those forks in the road where you get a choice and it's up to you to make that choice. So the Sterling job was the direction I wanted to go in. I didn't, as much as building inspection was fine, it wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I could have gone with the council and at 20 or 30 grand more, or gone down this route with Sterling and less money, but the fact of the matter was it was more in the line of the direction that I wanted to go. And honestly, I took the Sterling route. Probably within a couple of years I probably regretted it, but then I found out a few things that happened at council, and it was probably a good thing I wasn't there anyway. And I won't go into that, but yeah, a lot happened. So, and here I sit, I suppose. And I don't regret not having worked at Sterling Homes. because it taught me so much, and I'd put my hand up for everything. If the watering system out the back that was watering all the plants was broken, I was the first one they called. I ended up basically learning how to do everything from estimating to colour selections to order write-outs, maintenance. There wasn't a thing I didn't have my hand on in that 5 years that I was with Sterling, and I loved every second of it. Well, okay, there was probably a couple of times where I didn't love it, but it is what it is. I wouldn't exchange it for anything. And it was a good training side of things for me, and it was really really fun. There were some really good people there, and I remember, giving my resignation after 5.5 years, because I realised I wasn't going to go anywhere. My next level up was non-existent, and the pay just wasn't there. They were using me. I know that. I couldn't have given a rat's ass. I used them as well. So it leveled out, and no one was upset about any of it. So I gave notice, and I said, and I remember Greg saying, basically, when do you want to stop? And I said, I'm not stopping until we break up for Christmas. I said, that's the fairest way. And then I'll start the new job in the new year. I said, I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to give you 2 weeks notice and piss off. That's just not happening. And it was only like 5 weeks till Christmas anyway. So, and the new job basically was more than happy to start in the new year, because you're not just going to train a new person for like 2 weeks and then stop for 4. That's ridiculous. And he was okay with that. He was good with it. Finished up Christmas time. We did the Christmas party, and I remember going to a seafood restaurant down at Glenelg, and for some reason Greg ended up sitting next to me, and he said, "So what are you having for dinner?" Because it made it quite clear he wasn't paying for seafood dinner. I mean, everyone would have just gone in there and bloody ordered lobster and crayfish and all the really expensive stuff. And so as soon as everyone found out that he wasn't paying, they're ordering the cheapest things on the menu, and he goes, "What are you eating?" And I said, "Stuff this for a joke." I said, "I'm having crayfish." I just went with something that I didn't normally eat. I had the money, so I was more than happy to pay for it. And I thought, fuck it, I'm not screwing out of this. I'm just going to eat what I want to eat. And so he goes, "You go for it." So we all sat down and all had our dinner, and then after that it was like speech time, and so Greg sort of stood up. He goes, "Thank you for all your service this year. It's been fantastic. Blah blah blah. We've done this amount of houses. None of it, all the usual la-di-da crap." And then he goes, "Oh, by the way, no one's paying for dinner tonight." And everyone's just gone, "What? You mean we could have ordered the lobster?" And it's like, and everyone's looking at me going, "What the fuck did you know that you weren't telling us that you ordered bloody crayfish?" It's like, I was happy to pay for it. He just turned around and said, "No, I'm paying for it." So next time you go to a really expensive place for a Christmas party or something, and the boss says, "I ain't paying," get whatever you want. Get whatever you're willing to pay for. Because I can almost guarantee they'll turn around and just pay for it anyway. So, but oh God, that was funny. But yeah, the shit that you do, and then I just went on to another building designers company, and then a few builders, and then here I am. Ta-da! Wasn't that fun? And no one listened to absolutely any of it. You just all chatting amongst yourself. Oh dear. It was great. So yeah, I don't know. I'm such a oh look, we had dress up bloody Christmas parties. We had all that sort of stuff, and it was just, you know, I mean, it's I don't know what it is with work Christmas parties and stuff like that, but everyone just gets massively drunk. um, you know, and it's almost embarrassing to a certain extent. I was like, I work with you. Like, why are you doing this? I'm meant to work with you in 4 weeks' time again for like 12 months. So, yeah, just, I don't know. They seem to think that, you know, and especially Christmas here, like Christmas here in Australia, like the building industry simply shuts down. There's no suppliers, there's no tradies, there's nothing. You know, it's like work, stop. 4 weeks later, start again. And in Australia, we're meant to get 4 weeks of holiday every year, right? I haven't had 4 weeks off for many moons. You know, because I'm always back basically pretty much 2 weeks. Christmas in Australia is a lot bigger than what it is in some other countries, but here it's basically everyone just pisses off pretty much. The shops are just so damn full, it's insane. So, you know, most people try to get their shopping done before you know, a week before Christmas, because if you're going to a shop in that sort of period of time, good freaking luck. You know, it's like the whole bloody world's going to end and they've just got to buy everything off the shelves for like 2 days. You know, I don't know. You know, and like New Year's Eve, you know, it's like all the big bloody you know, the shops open again. You know, and it's like everyone is turning up at midnight to go shopping. Like, what? You know, why would you stay up until midnight and go, I wonder what I should do now. Let's go shopping. No, just don't do that. You know, you've got half the people on the road are drunk, you know, because they thought, oh, yeah, let's go shopping, man. Yeah, I'll drive. I've only had 30 beers. You guys have had 40. You're too pissed, you know. Just don't leave home. You know, screw that. You know, so you know, all these bloody office parties and stuff, it's just, and the guys just think they can, all of a sudden, the poor old bloody receptionist is sitting there going, who are these people? Either that or she's going, I know these people, depending on what type of office you work in, of course. But yeah, it's, I don't know, not my thing. Oh, I'll turn up, do my thing, and then go home. You know, and then if I want to drink, I'll drink. You know, at least I don't have to drive anywhere, and I don't have to leave. So, you know. Oh look, you know, I mean, look, I'm certainly no alcoholic. I can tell you that right now. I might have Schweppes, lemonade. I don't do the monster things. You know, the energy drinks. I might have one every now and again, one of the V's, but that's about it. And that just tastes like a lemon solo. So, you know, whatever. But yeah, I'm either soft drink. Well, we call this a soft drink. It's basically a carbonated drink. This would be much better if the can was a different colour. They changed the bloody recipe on us. No, this one is full sugar, Nepenthe. I don't drink the ones with the aspartame. No. But they changed the colour of these cans. These used to be dark blue, right? And they actually tasted like proper lemonade, like Schweffervescence lemonade. This tastes a lot sweeter for some reason. It's completely different. So, I don't know. Yeah, not happy about the change of colour. Not happy about the change of recipe, but welcome to 2026. They just changed it, just for the hell of it. I mean, it's not like they would have sold less or more. It's probably about the same amount that they actually sell, but why they needed to change the colour of the can, why they needed to change the recipe is beyond me. But this Schweppes is actually a different brand to any of the Coke stuff. So Coke also do a version of lemonade. What is it called? 7-Up or I don't know. Coke's version of lemonade. Let's look that up. Coke's version of lemonade. Sprite. So I think it's Sprite. And that's too sweet. But yeah, I look, I do drink Scotch. I do drink Drambuie. But I'm lucky if I have maybe two cups of it on a Friday night and a Saturday night when I'm out bush. I can't get drunk anymore. I don't know what it is. I'm not talking about when I toss myself off. That's private. Don't tell anyone. He's calling a bunch of tosser. Yeah, you know what a tosser is, Nepenthe. It's a wanker. Wanker, tosser. Yeah, look, Scotch on the rocks is kind of one of those things that it's got to be the right Scotch. You're not just talking about Johnny Walker red or black or blue or any of those. It's got to be something very different. If you're going to do a Scotch, it's got to be a nice Scotch to be on the rocks. Yes, exactly, Nepenthe. We have a Greek. You're a Greek. I'm pretty sure that's not what you were talking about, Chance, but okay, we'll leave it there. I don't speak Greek. I probably should by now. Either that or Italian, because guess what most of the builders are? Italian or Greek. I can understand what they're saying, but I can't speak it. Like if I remember, I had a client once who was actually a Greek Orthodox priest, and he came in his full robes and his hat and all the rest of it, right? Couldn't speak a word of English, so they brought a translator in, and they wanted to do an extension to a church, to one of their churches, and they're sitting in front of me, and the priest is basically talking in Greek, Greek Orthodox, and the other guy is listening to him, and I said, no, that's not going to work. I said, if you do this and this and this instead, then you'll be fine. And they both shut up immediately, looked around to me, and the guy that was translating goes, do you understand what we're saying? And I said, no, but I get it. I understand what you're talking about. I understand what you're actually suggesting. And I said, I can't explain it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. He goes, and the Greek priest is going, oh, he was so happy. But I should have learnt Greek and Italian bloody ages ago, honestly. But it's I always thought, well, I'm never going to go to Greece or Italy. But funnily enough, I've ended up working with builders. Even a company that actually had the two owners, one was Greek and one was Italian, and they got along like an absolute house on fire. They were fabulous together. And normally Greeks and Italians don't get along. Well, they get along, but they shouldn't be running businesses together. But these two guys were just incredible. Not the serial killers. Yeah, cereal. I'm pretty sure that's breakfast cereal. And I'm only going to have a go at your spelling because I can. Serial. My spelling's just as bad, so you can have a go at me next time. Yeah, that's probably the worst way you can actually say that. It does, yeah. I've heard about that, Nepenthe. I probably should, but I mean, most of them breathe bits and pieces. I probably shouldn't, Nepenthe, because, but I mean, most of them speak English, so it hasn't become. It used to be an issue because a lot of the builders basically say anything. A lot of the builders used to sort of speak half in their language and half in English. And so, you'd be sitting there and then they'd turn around to one of the guys on site and they'd be, blah, 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 and you'd have no idea what they were saying. But these days, everyone just speaks English, except for the imports like the tilers and other ones like that who speak neither Greek or Italian. And the Greeks and Italians get pissed off with them because they can't understand a word they're saying. It's like, now you know where we were coming from. It's like the whole circle of life. It's hilarious. The bloody freaking overseas ties. It's like, geez, mate, bloody rich coming from you. But anyway, yeah, that is very true, Nepenthe. Very true. Couldn't have put it a better way. The conversations that I come out with, honestly, I don't know where they come from. I'm meant to be serious. We're meant to be talking other stuff that gives chance and ideas on how to make his next video. Yeah, it was nice, Nepenthe. Oh, I'm still going to listen to it. I don't care. You come from Manchester. I'm pretty sure you would say the same thing about someone who came from Birmingham or, London. Oh, London. All those ruddy northerners. All the Welsh. Was that Chinese? Bloody, I'm English. No, you're not. It's like, where do you come from? Where's that? How does that translate to English? Barnes. Oh, okay, right. Don't use vowels, apparently. You sound like a greenie and you speak Welsh. I'm pretty sure they just ignore the vowels and say what the word is or something. I don't know. And then put a every now and again. Harmon rocks. Front wheel. Skid was hit. What's a vowel? Oh, laddie. Roll down to the car. I don't know. Something like that. What was that? Or is that sort of Irish / some random person who walked past in the middle of a conversation who was coming from somewhere else? I don't know. Yeah. A lot more F's and C's and variety of other words that go along with his speech. Either Noel or the other guy. Who is the other guy? Noel Gallagher and oh God, I can never remember the other one's name. You're my wonder world. Yeah, don't get me to sing. It's horrendous. Liam, that's the one. Liam and Noel. I was about to Google it, or DuckDuckGo it, or Bing it. Yeah. I sound like me. And Chance sounds like Chance, and I'm sure Nepenthe sounds like Nepenthe, and Optical sounds like Optical, so we all sound different. I can't carry a tune at all. I used to be able to, but not anymore. Lack of practice, probably. See, Optical's got a great voice. Your whole term of tosser really needs to be looked at, Chance, because yeah. A tosser can really mean two different things, can't it? It can either mean a wanker, and even that word, see, wanker, tosser. Oh, he's a bloody wanker, mate. Which means he's an idiot. Or, he's a wanker, mate. And I'm not going to explain the second version. Ever hear a screeching cat? Yeah, Yoko Ono, actually. And if that's how you learn to sing, thank God you actually managed to never learn how to sing a word like that again. I don't know how to take that, Kendall. It's all very confusing, some of these words. Seriously, the English language has like double words. Like a tosser is... But then so's a wanker as well. But I don't know. A wanker's also just a fucking idiot. I don't know. You seem far better than bloody Yoko Ono ever even dreamt of. So don't be giving me shit. I mean, it's universal, really, isn't it? I know. This is why they go to Sunday school and they do their Greek lessons when they start, like when they're doing, because Greek kids both pumping a shotgun. Yeah. Although that normally, anyway, moving on. Yeah, all Greek kids basically had to go off and do Sunday school, and then they would do their Greek lessons afterwards. And that's where they learned how to speak Greek. I mean, if they hadn't learned from Nonna or Mum and Dad by that point, wanker gun. Got to get a Come on, we're blokes. We've always got it loaded. Oh, we're talking about pew-pews. Oh, right, okay. This is, yeah, I know, right? This is just gone atypically down the drain. I thought this was improving very well. Oh dear. It's going to go down the wrong road. He likes typing. It's we. Oh dear me. For anyone new that's watching my channel, well, welcome to the hilarious hour. Hello, Seraphim. Oh dear. See, everyone's going to go, hello, Seraphim now. Please don't ask what we were talking about 5 seconds ago. By the way, Seraphim. Go get a CT scan. Hey, look, well, the world's bloody freaking serious as shit. We're just sitting here all just pissing ourselves laughing. So, it's great. That's what it's meant to be. Buck of the serious shit. This is way more fun. Okay. Not looking good. Oh, wrong. It's a butterfly. Oh, mine's a bit of paper. I'm special. Oh, golly gosh. Why do you do me? Why do you do this to me? Honestly. I can get serious, by the way. I'm not like this all the time. Honestly. Sometimes I'm a koala. Quick on the crayons. honestly, it's so easy to do though, Chance. That's the problem. It's you can either go down that line or honestly you just sit there just being an absolute idiot in front of people that you're never gonna meet, and it's freaking fantastic. You know, it's good. Yeah, I just take my glasses off and oh Jesus Christ, I'm blind. Anyway, I won't do that again. Sorry, yeah, for people who don't know, see these bags? Hidden by the frame. And I can't read anything at all. Everyone's in denial. Well, tell them to get out of the bloody river and get a towel around them and get back to flaming work. I mean, that's all you've got to do. And if you didn't catch that, they're all in denial. Denial. I don't know. It took him to ICU. Hopefully they didn't take his glasses off. The riffraff Tossington. Yes, denial is not just a river in Egypt. No, we're not going there. Oh dear. Well, I don't know what to talk about anymore. I do, but I don't want to. What did ELO used to say? Don't bring me down. Don't bring me down. No, 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 no. Ooh. Shh. Talk. No, it is not just a river in Egypt. It's like the Murray. No, can't. Got to have the music turned up. Got to have the music turned up way louder to hear me sing. And then you can't hear me sing. You can only hear them. But it sounds really off-key. I sing all the time in the car. God help anyone who ever looks at my dash cam afterwards, because they're just going to be sitting there going, oh, this is just terrible. You can imagine me going onto one of those singing shows. Nah. Out of here, don't come back. No, I'm not going to sing. I really am not. Come fly with me. Come fly away. Ta-da! Oh, this episode is proudly brought to you by no dark energy at all. It's proudly brought to you by a bunch of people just having a go at each other and bloody pissing themselves laughing at it. It's great. Oh, that's not my singing voice. That's me when I'm trying to be an idiot again. No, this episode is basically, it sort of started off a little bit dark, but it just gradually got worse from there. What are you going to name this episode? I don't know. Live 16072026. I'm very productive with my names on my lives. Not. I just put the date. Got to go and talk to the parrots. Great acting skills, D. Good night, all. Good night, everyone else. So great to spend time with you all. And great to spend time with you, Nepenthe. You're awesome. You're cool. Exactly. Chance? Yeah. I've never taken anything too personally. I'm old enough to just really not give a shit anymore. And if it's funny, I'll just laugh at it, even if it is at my expense. I don't care. And most of this has been at my expense, so, you know, it's great. But it's been funny as well. See? You know, without the singing. And I don't think I have a deep voice. I mean, weirdly enough, what I hear through here is not what I hear through the speaker on that thing in front of me. It's like two different people. It's just weird. My voice in my head is actually a lot deeper and less nasally, whereas that tends to be more nasally. It sounds like I need to blow my nose every 5 seconds, and I don't. But that's because I need my nose ripped apart and started again. In fact, my whole sinus tract needs to be ripped out and just started again. But that's not going to happen. So we learned that ChatGPT is secretly a transformer. That's not a bad thing to know. The problem is it a Decepticon or an Autobot? That's for you. That's for you to decide. Sir Tosselot. Oh, back in the forest of Rendlesham, there used to be a man called Sir Tosselot. He tossed a lot. He tossed leaves off his shoulders, and he rode his majestic steed with his pommel and his whip through the forest. In search of God knows where. Maybe another tosser. Oh, are you Sir Tosselot? Why, yes, I'm Sir Tosselot. And who might you be? You are the Knights of Ni. Oh, God! Well, that's when you're charging, isn't it? Sir Wankalot. Sir Tosselot and Sir Wankalot were on a ride through some forest in a far, far away land when they came across the Knights of Ni. We want a shrubbery. The forest of Wankingham. Yes. Sir Wankalot and Sir Tosselot were riding their faithful steeds through Wankingham Forest. When they came across Winchester. Oh. Oh, Sir Wankalot. Yes, sir. Varby. Lancaster. You mean Manchester? No. That's on the other side of the forest. Royal Majesty, Miss Wangmuffin. Is that where they've got those smooth Will those smoother rivers? I don't know. Maybe we should go and have a look. What do you call nuts on a wall? Me on a telephone? God help you if you're on a bloody 62-inch widescreen TV right now, because this episode would have taken on a whole other flaming look. Legally distinct, different districts. God. Or maybe one of those projection TVs, you know. Imagine me on a projection TV. Oh, God, no, you don't. You really, really, really don't. And yet, according to my analytics, there's people that do that. Watching you in virtual reality. Oh, God, I'm 3D now. Reach out. It's like you're really there. I know. And yet, butterfly. No, I'm not. Oh. That raises a serious question. You'll have to give me. Apparently, I'm not really there. Are you ready? One. You ready for the big reveal? 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! I'm gone again. No! Is that better? Buy this book. The author, Chance Paladin. Bunker Basics. And don't forget, his new one is in store now. Bunker Buddies. Get out there and get it. Get out there and get it. Ta-da! This is Unpacking Your First Prepper Cache. Original, August 2022. Current, October 2025. V21C Fall 2025 edition. Cover art by Optical Gem. Gem. No, I have read it. Thank you very much. Do you wish me to read some of it now? One of the thrilling things. Hamburger gravy feeds one person around 2 rounds of leftovers, depending on how big a pig you are. Great to work and microwave the next day, if there is a next day. If you can't finish it, just keep tossing it back in the fridge. And then you can scrape it off. But if you're in a bunker, I guess you don't have a fridge. If you don't have a bunker and a fridge, there's something wrong with you, seriously. You should have your own power supply by that time. So there should definitely be a fridge. But I would double check everything that's in that fridge before you go ahead and eat it, because you'll die. So there. And then you won't get to read what's in this actual bloody recipe. So get over it. So maybe don't make as much. I don't know. Either way, this is a good way to toss down some potatoes. What is it with you and bloody tosses? Seriously. You've even got it in the book. If you're getting sick of them by themselves. Ingredients. 1 to 2 pounds. What happens if you're only talking metric? I don't know. Of grief bound. Grief bound. How about ground beef? Or beef jerky. 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup. 1 can of corn. Or corn chips. I can tell you which one's better. Probably the corn chips. He reads it like it's a manga. 2 servings of instant mashed potatoes, or however many you want. What happened to throwing down some potatoes? And now it's all of a sudden mashed potatoes. Like, aren't you growing anything? Or however many you want, but start with 2 servings. You want more mashed potatoes than the beefy, soupy sauce. You could theoretically use real potatoes once your potatoes crops get off the ground. Well, that makes kind of sense, so, But good luck having that happen after the nuclear apocalypse. You'll get these weird-ass potatoes that have like 15 heads on them and like tosses. I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing. Instructions. Get a big pan and whack it over your head. No, it doesn't say that bit. And put it on about medium-ish. This is clearly written by someone who cooks, because they get just the right temperature, which is good. Put the meat in right away. It's in there. You probably want to sort of chunk it up and mix it around a bit, just to make sure it cooks on the inside rather than the outside. Not too high on the burner, because half your beef will burn before the other half is... You didn't mix it up, did you? No, you just threw it in there in the hope that something would happen. It is important when you're doing this to be constantly giving the meat attention. I see a lot of people cook ground beef by throwing it in a pan, chopping it for 2 seconds, leaving it to burn and making everyone sick. This is not the way to do it. Constantly be chopping, stirring, and spreading back out the ground beef with whatever kind of spatula you have. If you have one that isn't firm enough, it'll be flipping meat everywhere and you'll make a mess. Who cares? You're the only one in the bunker. You know, whatever mess you create, you're going to have to tidy it up yourself anyway, so it doesn't matter. When the meat is just about done and chopped up into little bits, you can get the water started for the mashed potatoes. You realise how bloody long it takes to... Anyway, this is important to wait because the mashed potatoes take like 2 seconds to get done, if they're the instant kind. Because if you put a real potato in there, that'll take a lot longer. So just get the water started on that and drain the meat. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be a piece of meat, really. You know, you get battered, you get thrown around. Apparently you make everyone sick. And then you got to drain the meat and turn the burner on low. You drain the meat by getting a strainer over a clean sink and plopping all the done beef into it. You don't serve the beef, you plop it. Cover the drain with a paper towel so you don't clog the drain with grease. Now this is a cool part. Ooh. To get the extra grease out. Put your rubber glove on. Keep the beef in strainer in the sink for a sec and grab a paper towel and carefully wipe all the grease out of the pan too. You don't want that. Maybe the rubber glove wasn't a bad idea. I don't know. Okay, so now you can get your can opener and open the 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup, and don't cut yourself or anything, and don't burn yourself. Okay, so now the burner has cooled down a bit because you put it on low, and the meat's cooled down a little because it's chilling in the sink. You've got Californian beef, haven't you? It's chilling, man. Oh yeah. So you bring the pan back to the sink or whatever and put the meat back in it. I mean, whatever's lying around somewhere. Oh, it gets better. So you bring the pan back to the sink or whatever and put the meat back in it and plop the cans of mushroom in it. Oh dear. And start smashing it all around and slowly turning the heat back up. It's like, do I really have to cook this? Yeah, that pan will do, whatever. Just let it chill in the sink. This gives you time to finish the instant or real, it's AI mashed potato now. We're not sure yet. Or real mashed potatoes. So follow whatever directions they have on them. I'm pretty sure real potatoes don't have a printed direction sheet on them, but okay. And finish them off. Only takes a minute or so, then turn the burner off. And by then, the ground beefy, mushroomy sauce needs more smashing. So smash, smash, smash it all together until it looks like the hamburger gravy, and then turn the burner off. How do we know what the hamburger is meant to look like if you've never had it before? I don't know. It's like most cooking, really. You just throw it all in, hope for the best, and if it tastes good, you might actually, by chance, cook it again. But it never tastes the same. Have you ever noticed that? But we haven't finished yet. There's more. Now, get as giant of a bowl as you have and dump it all in together. And stir, stir, stir. This is going to be your hamburger gravy home base for the next couple of days. Surely there wasn't a can of vegetables that you could have thrown in, but it sounds delish. Unless you die. Once it's all stirred, get a smaller bowl. We've got an entire flaming kitchen in this bunker apparently. So you don't make yourself sick trying to eat it all, or just eat it out of the bowl until you're full or throwing up, and cover up whatever is left and stick it straight right into the fridge. Hopefully you've got a fridge. I don't know. Then get yourself a soda of whatever and watch your Transformers DVD. See, this comes all the way around, you see? And sit down to watch your TV. You can add a salad or whatever also. I like to have a salad with mine if I can. Speaking of salads, maybe you want a tomato, onion, chili. Needs. I've got needs. But apparently this has one too. Salsa, chili, onion, corn chips, in brackets stir in, hot dogs. That's for your protein. Come on, it's got to be an all-rounded meal. Get with us, peoples. Chop up and stir in. Can substitute for any heat of salsa you want, but since salsa can prep really good, maybe there'll be some salsa in your bunker. But then again, you've broken into it, so, there might not be. So this might not be the recipe for you, but That's okay. Or maybe some tomatoes. Tomatoes spelled Tomaters nearby. Or maybe tomatoes. You know, tomato, George Bush, I don't know. Either way, some kind of tomato product. And even hot sauce, because if you're lucky or not, that's okay. Some holy water. I'm trying to be serious here. Please, stop with the jokes. Anyway. Can substitute corn chips for actual corn if you're lucky. No, you can't. I'm sorry. No, corn chips are one thing. Corn is another. Can't have one or the other. It's either both. It generally is both at the same time. And whatever protein you have, that would be the hot dog. Although we're not really sure whether that is protein or not, but we're going to go with it anyway. Shut up. They're tasty. But my favourite is Polish hot dogs. Although I doubt these will exist in the apocalypse. But whatever protein you have, I'm sure would help spice up the chili. Providing it's spicy protein. Ooh, spicy. Now, the cooling off is the soda or whatever. We read that bit already. Regarding the chili, surely there'll be bags and bags of beans in the bunker in case you can't find the ready-made cans of chili con carne, which tastes exponentially better than the bags and bags and bags of beans. Because then you've got to soak the bastards because they'll be too bloody hot. Well, not too hot, too hard. You know, maybe you can throw them at something. I don't know. The cat. Basically, the idea here is if you're trying to heat your hot dogs separate than your chili, since they heat at 2 different durations. Okay. With the chili, you can also heat up the dehydrated or normal onions. Where did they come from? Dehydrated onion. And salsa or hot sauce or whatever. There's a lot of or whatever. I'm going to read that again. With the chili, you can also heat up the dehydrated or normal onions and salsa or hot sauce or whatever. Just throw something in there. I don't know. And in the other dish, heat up your hot dogs. As soon as they're both the same temperature, now we need a bloody thermometer. Great. One more thing we need. Stir them together. Or let that one cool down a bit. I don't know. As soon as they're in the same temperature, stir them together. Then put the chips or corn on top and crush it all in. See? And you wanted to pick just corn. There'd be no crunch. There'd be no flavour. I don't know. If you don't have salsa but have cheese, you can substitute the salsa for cheese. No, you can't. Cheese is cheese. Cheese is yum. And besides that, if it's heated, then the cheese melts and you can stir it all in and just, you know. But unless you're allergic to cheese, you know, and some people are, you know. And we don't need that in a bunker. Mind you, the amount of chili and salsa and tomato and the rest of it, your bunker's probably not going to smell too good the next morning anyway. But we're not going there. Creates 1 to 2 meals. Unless you're a pig, you know. But that's page 208 to 209. All of that writing. Come on, there's got to be another one. I know there's another one. Tatterrock casserole. Cheese chili bin dip. Oh my God. Shall I read? Oh, I'm going to. One of your sentences in this. You are going to be happy. You're not going to be out. You're not. You are going to not. You are not going to be not. Flipping out. What's wrong with my head? Okay, we're going to get through this. You are going to be happy. You are going to be not out somewhere eating some mystery slop. And you are going to be full for a long time. Yay! Well, I mean, I could have done whatever. Every time you hear the word whatever, just saying. It does. It says, for a long time. I wonder where he heard that one. And this is going to be backwards, but see, it's even got for a long time. And it's all backwards. It's awesome. That's why you have to buy this book. So you too can go through and get some fabulous recipes. I haven't tried any of them, but they sound delicious. And we're going to be full for a long time. And you got to say it like that. CPR defib paddles. Choking is when something is stuck in your throat. If someone has their hands around the person's throat, that's called strangulation. Did you know that? Well, you do now, but you're going to find out so much more when you buy this book. So if you don't have it in your collection, get it. It's great. Buy it. And if you have got this, get its follow-up, Bunker Buddies. By Chance Paladin. And if you want to know where to get it from, go to www.amazon.com and in the search bar type Chance Paladin, Paladin. And there you won't just find that book, which is Bunker Basics. You'll also find Bunker Buddies, and you'll find PNW Afflictions, which is a series of books that perhaps you should have a listen to or a read as well. If you're joking, hit yourself with the book, but only with that bit, because that bit doesn't hurt as much. But if you turn it on its side, and I will not test it at the moment because that's not what I do. Otherwise I'll end up down there, and then I will need something. Well, that's the other option. Buy all these books and it will fill that shelf, and probably that one as well, and probably that one as well. And then you just tip it over and hit that on your head, and then you will guarantee to be glad that you got this book. because this will tell you how to fix yourself. Maybe ring 911 at the same time, but you know, it'll be. And who knows, you know. It's huge! So, buy his books. And just in case, you can buy his game as well. Yes. He's smart. He even made his own game. Oh. 000 here. What is it there? 999? Just to be different? I mean, honestly, just make them all 911. Bloody American. So what did we think of that? Did that entertain? The 7-Eleven. Yeah. I know, right? I don't know where. But I think I'm probably going to have to go because I do have to make a phone call. Because I did have a message and he said, I want this house done now. And I know I haven't seen boo with it. Well, you guys all enjoyed listening to me read, and I've enjoyed reading it and just picking little things out like that. So, no. Yeah, unfortunately, I do have to work. Like, you know, it's kind of my job, and yeah. And it's kind of like 3:51, and you draw a square and some windows. Job done, you know. Yeah, probably not far off it, actually, to be brutally honest. After a while, they all look the flaming same anyway. I don't know. And he's probably putting it on a block with like the same dimensions that we've done 50 million other bloody houses on. And it's like, just pick one of those and send it to the client and go, we can redraw it. Look. Ta-da! Oh dear. I'm like, I'm honestly not normally this crazy either. I think certain types of people just bring it out, and it's like, I am actually quite a serious person sometimes, but it's good to have a bit of fun. He's an architect. I'm actually drawing houses for an architect. You figure that one out. That explains everything, really, doesn't it? No, he's a lovely bloke. And I get a lot of work from him, so I can't complain too much. He draws it by hand, and then I turn it into, ta-da! Gotta cut loose sometimes, exactly, yes. And it's always good to do it with a bunch of people who pay you out while you're doing it, which is fabulous. I love it. Love it. I said to Mum, I said, it's like sitting around on a bloody kitchen table on a Friday night, you know, where you just all having a go at each other and just laughing. And that's the point. You might get serious every now and again, but it's like no one cares. And then you just all go back to laughing again. You know, you got a few chips and dips or whatever on the table, and before you know it, 3 hours, 4 hours have gone by, and it's like, oh crap, what happened there? Yeah, because I don't really have any topics when I start. It's like whatever happens is going to happen, and weirdly enough, all the weirdos sort of tend to piss off, and the bigger weirdos stay, which is great. Fit right in. Yeah, you just need it is cool. I know I should have done a couple more lives, but I haven't. So terribly sorry. But it is cool. Yeah, wanker off to Wankerville. It's toss a lot. How weird the weirdos. And on tonight's news. No, I don't know what's. Oh dear. Aren't you glad you closed that door now, Charles? Imagine somebody walking past the door, and I know it's only your wife probably or the cats, and they're just going, "What the hell is he doing in there?" It'd be even worse if the door was open and you had visitors. It's like, "Oh, how's Charles going? Oh, he's in his office. He's doing some work or something like that." And they walk past and they hear this conversation. It's like, I think your husband's listening to something a bit weird in there. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. I'm used to it. It's either that or he's out watering and he's just talking to himself. I mean, even the horses get weirded out by that. And the bloody Cessnas just piss him off. So it's like, hi, this is Charles Paladin. I'm going to talk while you listen. Although these days it's, I'm going to water while you listen. And by the end of it, it's like, it's like, the horse. And then you break your ankle 3 times. And then, green pokey sticks. Oh, well, sometimes, yeah. No, it's not that loud. I think you go, oh, horsey. I do enjoy listening to it though. That's the funny part. It's you say a lot of really good stuff and a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't think about, and it is good to get your brain working. So, it's great. No. Look, yeah, I know the wind is really bad some nights, but and we can tell because they had reports of UFOs in Canada, so I didn't know whether that was you still holding onto your hose going. And it's slightly windy tonight, but I'm still watering. Meanwhile, you're 400 feet up in the air somewhere. I need to get back home again. I don't know. Anyway, I gotta make a phone call. I gotta figure out where this damn house is where he wants something tonight, and like I haven't seen it, so, and he's probably gonna go, well, what the fuck were you doing? I needed it tonight. Well, you're gonna get it tonight. Stop stressing. So yes, I'd better go and better get back to work. Better make a phone call, and you night, and Optical, you have an awesome day, and yeah, take care, be safe, all the rest of that crap, and we'll catch you later. Bye.